Hey there. Is anybody there? I was having some technical difficulties. They've seems like there's a new format for these live videos. So just checking if anyone's there. So if I'm not seeing anyone has joined, it's a little weird. Okay. Hey Betty, thank you. Thanks. Hey Kat, so you can see, it's like I'm not seeing, normally there's like comments coming in and stuff. Can someone give me a comment that they can see the video? Oh, hey, April, thank you. Um, yeah, they've changed it, so it's a little weird right now. So okay, thanks, appreciate that. Um, okay. Oh, hey, April, I miss your eggs. I wasn't sure which April that was. Hi. Um, so great. So you can hear me okay? Those who are there hear me and see me? Just yeah, this is not how it usually is. Okay. I'm going to give it another minute to make sure that, okay, thank you. Thanks, Rob. Um, okay. Okay, so here's another, go get started. It's that time. Thank you. Hi. Okay. Hey, Julie. All right. Um, so here's another yoga class, the other yoga practice that we can, hey, GD, share in together, connecting through this way that we can connect. It's kind of amazing. As the time goes on and we're in this situation, I'm teaching. Okay, thanks, Kat. Yeah, I'm just sort of reading some comments too. This is definitely a different format. Okay. Um, so yes, just everything I'm doing is online now, and it's amazing to me how much it feels connected. So it's really good to be here with you all. So, just sharing from for me, it's like I feel like lately the news is caring more about like the real impact of what's happening here with this pandemic. Meaning, hey Simone, people are dying, and the healthcare workers are stressed and in danger, and it's really intense. Obviously, we're all we're in this circumstance where mostly our lives are just being inconvenienced, and I know in a very real way, we're being challenged financially, perhaps, and so much uncertainty for sure. But just I'm starting to settle in with the very real, impact of this illness, and what is happening to people and to their loved ones because of it. The people that are on the front lines, the stress and their own sacrifice. They're exposing themselves to help take care of other people. So as much as we're maybe stuck at home, it's like we're privileged and in good fortune if we have our health. And to be able to practice yoga, though we need it for our sanity and our self-care, but to be able to practice yoga is a really fortunate thing at this time. So I was thinking today with our practice, I would like to practice in a way that we offer our strength and truly offer our blessings, right, to those who are out who are working hard and suffering during this time. And what is our strength? What is our blessing force? Yogis tap into a strength that's more than just the strength of their bodies. It's a strength that is of pure awareness, the light of pure awareness, and this is a strength and a fortitude that's ultimately beyond ever fluctuating circumstances of life. And it's not that it's just, that's a place to find some serenity, but it's a place that then within ourselves that supports the way that we are able to show up to and navigate life. And it's also a place from which that we can offer our blessings and our highest sending out into the world. That sometimes we talk about that a lot, and it's a beautiful sentiment, but it's not just, fluffy like love and light, but like it's a real power and a force within us. And that's what we line up to in our yoga practice, again, for our own sense of connection to that, for our own, well-being and fortitude, but then also what we can bring out into the world from that place. So that inner strength, I truly think is tapped into most powerfully through meditation, and how wonderful that you don't necessarily have to have a strong and active physical practice to tap into that. And may we find ways to learn how to truly meditate and connect to that light within. But and in our asana practice, our bodies are an instrument of consciousness. So when we do a practice that focuses on our center, that focuses on our core, our core strength, it's really where we find that meditative power, that light of self on a physical, energetic level. And yes, that's how we feel stronger through our practice, physically, energetically, and beyond. So, for me, yoga isn't only just like, flow and feel and have an experience and feel better, but it's very much about what are we lining up towards? What are we connecting to physically and energetically through our practice? And so today we'll do a practice that invites us into that sense of resilience and strength. And may we know that for ourselves, but may we also practice that and connect to that in a way that we can offer that up and share that, send that out to all of those who are really struggling and suffering, and are in a very difficult place, probably way more than we are if we're on Facebook Live right now to do some yoga, right? So may we let our practice be of service, in service of that and support of that as well. So we'll do some strong, some core work, standing pose work. I do want to work a little bit more towards some back bends, but from a place of strength, right? So that when we open ourselves in our back bends, we feel it's from that place of connection and resilience. All right, so that's the plan for today. So I'm going to go over to the mat and take a seat. If something happens you can't hear me, just put up a comment or something, and I'll try to adjust as needed. So take a good seat, sitting up perhaps on a blanket or your blocks in a way that helps you to turn the inner thighs down, widen sit bones apart, so that you already are aligning to your center. Your center being, of course, your physical spine and the core muscles that surround that. When we line up our bones, the muscles follow, and our awareness, our energy follows that. So you can soften your gaze or close your eyes and tune into your breath. Settling into your seat and taking a few moments to just, to let the breath work through you. We need several waves of exhales to settle and clear out and release, so that we can come more deeply to the connection of what's underneath all of what might be swirling around in our minds and our lives even. Exhaling and letting that release. And inhaling, beginning to connect to and fortify that sense of center. Lengthening through the spine. As you find your way into alignment through the spine, the sense of how it all draws in more. Maybe feel the muscles around your core starting to wake up and support you. We'll tap into that. We'll seek a greater connection to that for our practice, and for our own inner strength. So tap into the light of consciousness, the light of spirit, letting that illumine our own circumstances and everything that we have to tend to today. But maybe we also practice in a way of supporting those who are working in a big way, or maybe in a very challenging circumstance. So maybe they can't engage in this kind of self-care and connection. The strength in our yoga, through our yoga, give them strength today. And so please bring your hands to touch at the heart. Beginning this practice with an Om, inhaling into center. Bow your head to your heart. Release your hands to your thighs. Lift your head, open your eyes. All right. So come on up to table pose. And set your hands evenly. Coming into table, lengthening through your spine. Tailbone on top of head. And as you come into center here, again, can you feel as you lengthen your spine, extending into your belly and through tailbone, through top of head, tightening through the center, narrowing around your waist. And with your next inhale, then start to lift your tailbone slowly and follow that way through your spine, lifting your heart, lifting your head. And exhale, curl the tailbone under as you tone your abdomen in and up, rounding your back. And pushing through your hands, pushing through your knees. And again, inhale, lift your tail, follow that wave through. Lift your heart, lift your head, opening. Exhale, rounding under. And so moving with your breath in this way. And I invite you to just move either as you go, breath by breath, right? Lifting tail with the inhale, head with the inhale, rounding with your exhale all the way through. Or you can slow it down further or add in maybe some side-to-side movements want to happen, or some twisting movements want to happen. These two poses and these movements, cow pose, cat pose, really helping us to tap in and tune into the breath and the core, the muscles of the core, and moving everything through in this way. And so a couple more rounds of the breath. And I want you to really pay attention to how your spine is moving, what muscles are moving your spine, and bringing strength and awareness to those movements. And we'll build on that as we go. So with your next exhale, as you round your back in the cat, take your knees wider, point your toes back, and sit your hips to your heels for child's pose. Make it about hips and hip going down, heaviest, right? Lift your belly in and up, and then walk your torso forward. Maybe your head doesn't come down all the way. You're certainly not trying to force down at the top here, but rather keeping your hips the heaviest part. Maybe you put a block under your head or fold your arms under your head if you need some extra height. And take a few breaths here, breathing into center, breathing into your belly, into those low ribs. I'm just coming over here to check to see if there's anything I need to tend to. Okay, and just exhaling, getting grounded, cleared out. Connected to yourself, the source of that inner strength. Yes, that inner light, right? Let's make that sense of light a powerful thing, not just like a feel-good kind of thing, but rather something we can offer as a form of support. So with your next inhale, come back up to table. And in table pose, pause for a moment. Move your knees back a little further behind your hips. Set your hands well, really pressing down through each finger pad, that index knuckle. Again, lengthen your spine, but then tightening around your waist. So that lower belly, front ribs, and throat. Those are the anchors of your core. Tighten those front to back as you narrow around your waist. So that low back is in its natural curve, but you're just pulling in super strong front to back. Then we'll come to floating table. That means lift your knees off the floor just a few inches. You feel you have to really work to keep it all together. Belly and ribs in, throat back. Remember the ribs elongating through your spine. And from here, slowly stretch up and back into down dog. And you can start with bent knees in this first down dog. Keeping that same centered spine, that same active core to keep your spine centered. And with bent knees, and start to pedal and press through one heel and the other. Pedaling it out, opening it up as you breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. A couple more breaths here. Just getting in what you need, opening up in this way. All right, so come back through table and into a seat. Swing your legs around or go over your ankles. So come into a seat. Actually come on down to your back. I just want to really get our core kicked online here before we get moving more fully. So come onto your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. And press the feet into the floor, the hands to the fronts of the thighs. So my favorite way to activate the core. So as you press into your feet and hips, try to keep your hips stable. You're going to have to roll your pelvis under a little bit, but pull your abdomen in, low belly, ribs in more. You may even have to flex upwards slightly to really feel getting those lower ribs really pulling back. As you push against the thighs, think about toning your abdomen in and pulling your abdomen strength straight back to the floor, and then lower down without letting that release. And then pick your feet up off the floor, keeping the hands pressing to the thighs, pressing forward and up, abdominal bracing. Especially pull those ribs in towards the floor, activating that lower abdomen. And even think about reaching to the top of the head so the neck stays strong here to the front of the neck. And so everything coming together, your steady, strong center. One more breath here. All right, lower it back down, stretch those arms all the way overhead. Separate your feet to the edges of the mat, keeping the edges of the feet strong. Rock both knees to the right and hold, windshield wiper. Pull your ribs in on the left, stretch through that left knee, all the way through that left hand, making some space. As you breathe in, really pull into your center. As you breathe out, the ribs back more on the left, stretch a little longer through left knee, left hand. Right, come back up to center, knees over to the left, stay strong on the edges of your feet. Then pull your abdomen back on the right, pull into that strong back of the right shoulder as well. And reach to that right knee, extend through your spine, opening up, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, bring it back up, and bring your feet back to hips width. Hands on fronts of thighs one more time. Press into your feet, hips on the floor. And pull your belly in, pull your navel back, really narrow the waist, especially those front ribs in tighter. And lift your feet up off the floor. Keep pushing into those legs. And then start to flex upwards if you can. You can stay on the floor if that's better for you. Hold on behind your thighs and actually push into the hands. So if you stretch out your back as you flex upwards. Can you still tighten back through the middle? Notice what's happening in the neck here. Lengthen through the back of the skull. Keep your throat back. Chin a little bit tucked. So push forward with those legs into your hands, stretching out your back. And either lower down, roll to one side to come up, or rock and roll up. All right, let's take it back to hands and knees. Let's again go through floating table. So press your hands down evenly. Back your knees up a little further. Before you lift up, elongate the spine, and then tighten again, low belly, ribs, and throat, just like you did before, right? Getting all those connected places, not rounding here all the way, but finding that neutral spine. This time though, floating table, and then to plank. You have to walk your feet back further. You could also do a knee down plank, right? Instead of the knee up plank. So plank, push through your hands a lot. And tone your abdomen, belly, and ribs in, throat back. Breathing fully. It's hard work to hold plank. Can you still draw in front to back? Can you still breathe deeply? So then, we'll lower onto our fronts. Keep pushing through your hands. In this first one, keep your abdomen strong, but touch the knees. Push through your hands, but pull up into your shoulder blades. And we'll get into how to do that a little bit more. For now, just come onto your front and stretch those legs long and strong. Tone your belly in, ribs in, throat back. Then float your hands off the floor, start to hover. And draw from hands to shoulder blades like gloves. And you start to lift up a little bit higher. And I want you to hopefully feel this in the strengthening at the shoulder blades, strengthening now the back muscles more. It's like the opposite of plank pose, right? Toning your center, elongating your spine. And with that, you can curl up perhaps a little higher, adding a little more extension. Feel how the strength of your shoulder blades helps you to do that. And we'll bring some movement into that. You can exhale, lower down, inhale, pull back. Notice as you lift up, what you're not doing, you're not just flipping your head way up. Don't move your head beyond what your spine is doing. So keep your throat back. As you lift your chest, you can lift your chin a little bit, right? Make sure that's connected. And lower down 2 more times. So pull back, curl up. So this is this pulling action. Pulling from hands to shoulder blades, pulling, lifting the arm bones up. All right, so this time hold, then press your hands down. Tuck your toes under. So then push back up. Keep that strength of your shoulder blades on the back, but then push yourself back up the plank. And again, downward facing dog. Stretch it up and back. All right, breathing in, breathing out. Press down well through your hands. And from here, look to the front of the mat. Tiptoe on your way forward, nice and easy. Ground your feet, hips width distance. Arch up with your inhale. Fold with your exhale. Bend your knees to tip from your hips as needed. Take a breath or 2 here, fingertips on the floor. Move your shoulder blades up the back, let your neck, your head, then release down. Soften your face, deep breath in the center. As you stay soft in the outer body, it's like we allow then that inner strength that we're building. So arch up halfway again with the inhale. Hands on thighs with the exhale. It can just radiate out through us instead of that outer contraction that makes us so hard. Inhale, stand up. In fact, the yogis know the more inner strength we have, the more we can be soft in the outer body, meaning soft and available to life, and also to be able to send that blessing energy forth. All right, so again, inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows now to cactus arms. So think about what we did. We laid on our abdomen. Right, so tone your abdomen back, be strong from feet to hips. Then again, work those shoulder blade tips into the heart, the back of the ribs really. So again, pull your ribs back and then bring your shoulder blades onto the back. So sit a little deeper then and start to curl your chest a little bit higher. With an inhale, reach overhead. With the exhale, rounding forward, go to touchdown, bow your head down. Inhale, arch up to halfway. Step to plank pose. Push through your hands, and as you inhale, tighten your belly, your ribs, your throat, push, and now pull to lower down. That's your good chaturanga work. So pull as you bend your elbows, draw the arm bones back to meet, shoulder blades come onto that rib cage. Stretch your legs long and strong. Inhale to cobra. You lift your hands off the floor to activate, and then press your hands down, sweep back, push you lift up as much as that's good for you. Keep those legs reaching, belly, ribs, throat back, curling up. All right, lower down with the exhale, downward facing dog. Push it up and back. So breathe deeply, breathe in, breathe out. Steady your hands, that means you're pressing down well through each finger, pad, and knuckle. Strong through your center as you reach and open through. And look to the front. Heels high, hips high, tiptoe or light hop, both feet. And arch up with your inhale. Fold with your exhale. Head up and chest up, bend the knees as you need to. Come up once you get to halfway. Nice long spine, start rounding up, right? Rise with the inhale, reaching up from there. Exhale, lower the arms. And again, inhale, stretch up with the breath. Exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows, cactus squat. Toning your abdomen in, ribs in. Sitting back a little deeper with those strong shoulder blades. So inhale, reach overhead with that. Exhale, touch down, stretch through. Inhale, arch up to halfway. And step your left foot back into a lunge. Be up on your fingertips. In fact, let's come up onto the hands onto the front knee. Staying low, but just being up on the front knee. So this, instead of using blocks, we can all do this. So then as you breathe in, be strong from feet to legs, scissor in with your legs. As you press that back thigh higher, tone your abdomen in more, bending into the front knee. So finding this neutral spine strength here. And being higher gives you that ability. So tighten through the center, Center the spine, pull that right hip in, feel your hips are of course part of that centering. All right, touch down from there and downward facing dog, step it back. Look to the front, tiptoe or hop with the exhale, and arch up with your inhale. Right foot steps back with your exhale. Come up once you get settled into your feet, hands on your front thigh. That front foot up, right under the knee there, vertical shin. Breathing smoothly, breathing in and out. In that same way, drag the feet towards each other, pull into center in that way. Using your strong legs to press the back thigh higher, that's going to help you find your center and pull in belly and ribs and throat connected as you bend into that front knee. That's it. So feel where that is, strong and connected. All right. So from there, touch down. This time, step it to plank and hold plank pose. Let's add a little more challenge to our core strength. If this is hard on your wrists, just do this next part on your elbows. We'll be here for a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough, right? Lift your left leg to a hover. Keep pushing through the hands, and just as soon as you take one foot off the floor, maybe you're on your forearms here. You have to pull in the center more to find the balance. Switch it. Right foot, left foot down, right foot up. And scissor the middle. Pulling in the center, belly, ribs, and throat. Really find that inner strength, inner connection. All right, lower that down, and we'll come all the way down, nice and slow. That's it. Stay here. Let's add in here. Stretch your legs behind you, long and strong. Roll the inner thighs more up to the sky. Even as you lay in your belly, tone in belly, ribs, and throat. For this one, take your arms by your sides and start to curl that chest up and head up. Now you can stay here, arms by your sides, hands apart, or if you clasp hands if you can. You can also take your shirt or a strap and hold if that's better for your shoulders, or interlace your fingers. Now keeping belly, ribs, and throat back, lift your left leg to a hover. Same lift, but it feels very different, right? Toe into the center, push into that right foot on the floor. Tighten the glutes and use your core, but then lengthen, really open. Switch it. If you're doing one, do the other. This is also optional, right? You could have both feet on the floor the whole time. As you lift that leg, keep reaching through the foot so you don't bend at the knee, right? Reach it strong and straight. Pull into the center with your legs, with your core, but also extend and lift more. One more breath. Lower the foot, lower down, release the hands. Make a pillow under your head. As you soften down here, breathe into your center. Your belly on the floor, feel how the breath expands more into your low ribs, your side ribs, taking the breath into that deepest place. Again, that deepest place is source, but really an infinite strength. We can find through our breath with awareness itself. But here with our yoga practice, we can line up with it in a very tangible, physical way. All right, place your hands, stretch your legs long and strong. Inhale up into a cobra pose, curling up. And downward facing dog, stretch up and back. So breathing here, breathing in, breathing out. And with an inhale, lift your right leg slowly up behind you. Exhale, step that foot up between your hands. From here, swivel both feet as you walk both hands to the left. So in a wide-legged forward fold. Feet straight ahead. And then walk the hands forward so they're more under your shoulders. And bring a firm bend to your knees. So I want you to get connected to your feet here. Press your big toes down. Try to spread your pinky toes apart. You're trying to grip the floor, especially with your big toe, the whole ball of your foot. Not gripping the toes, but you're trying to make suction cups from feet to hips. With strong legs, right? So with that, you can bend a little more to the right knee. Make this, again, about your, I think of core strength as the whole body. How the legs, the limbs, hands, and feet all integrate into the core. As much as, yes, it's about the core itself, the spine. So this is not just about stretching side to side, but strengthening the legs in this movement and how it all comes together with that. All right, so come back to, once more time, bending to the left knee. Then come back to center. And hands on hips, head up, chest up, rise up with your inhale. And turn the right foot open to the right. and bend into your right knee. So left foot parallel to the short edge, right foot straight ahead, lined up with the middle of the back foot. You can place your forearm on your thigh and stretch your top arm past the ear, or option to put a block down and put your hand there. Make sure the front knee aims to the right. And you make this about the strength of your legs. So drag the feet towards each other, keep the thighs back, and remember that core work we did, pulling strong through your center as you stretch and open. So here, take another breath, and reach that top arm to touch down carefully. Lift your back heel and square your hips all the way forward. From here, lower the back knee to the floor and lift up, hands on hips. So keep dragging the feet towards each other. From that right hip more in and under as you lift your belly. It's a place of strength too. Tighten through the center as you bend into that front knee. And now with an inhale, reach overhead. So pull in the center and then, start to open up a little bit more. Sense of drawing in front to back. But as you elongate through the spine, two directions, down and up, move more into the strength of the upper back. This could also be from cactus arms as you need to here. So stretching out, take a big breath. Exhale, touch it back down. And here, lift your back knee up. Let's enter one more pose. The left hand can be on the floor or on the block. Put your right hand on your knee. And taking the twist, scissoring with your legs. Narrow your waist, turn your belly and chest to the right, and stretch your right arm up from there. So strong from feet to hips. Press the back thigh higher. Narrow your waist in on that right side. Open across your chest. Can you find those strong shoulder blades here? Now you pull your ribs in to meet those shoulder blades, which then can open your heart in a more balanced way. So full breath in. Exhale, touch it down, downward facing dog, stretch up and back. Big breath here. And left leg up with your inhale. Exhale, step that foot up between your hands. And in that same way, pivot both feet to the right. Then bring hands onto hips, head up, chest up, rise with your inhale. Turn the left foot to the front of the room. The right foot parallel to the short edge of the mat, lined up. Open those arms with the inhale and bend into your left knee. So forearm on your thigh and stretch your top arm past the ear. You draw into that inner strength. Drag the feet towards each other. Belly in, ribs in, throat back. Lift even your ribs more in and up, right? So you're full in the back here. Open that front knee to the left. And as you stretch the arm past the ear, can you think shoulder blades connected into the full ribs? Unfolding as you breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing into your inner strength and offering it through you with every exhale. Then touch down with your right hand and lift your back heel as you square all the way forward. Lowering the back knee down, lift hands onto hips. So steady into center here. Drag the feet towards each other. Scissor at the legs. This left hip pulling under as you tone your belly in and up. It's not about tucking the tail. That's not it. It's just firming the parts that support your inner strength so that you can then bend and open from a place of connection. So with that, inhale the arms overhead. Maybe bend those elbows to cactus. Think about pulling into center where it all connects, but then unfolding at the same time, especially moving middle back, upper back more. So one more big breath here, stretch and open. Exhale, touch it down. Right hand to the floor, or use a block and lifting that back leg if you can. And start to twist from your center. Scissor at the legs, turn your belly and chest to the left. Left arm stretching up. Breathe in as you drag in with your feet, pull it all together. Shake those left ribs, breathe out, and open across your chest more, bend deeper into the front knee. Right, take a breath here. Touch down with the exhale, step it to plank. So we'll move through with steady connection. Push through your hands, narrow your waist, push and then pull. That means you're pulling the shoulder blades onto that fullness of your ribs as you lower down. Reach those legs long and strong. Inhale to cobra. Belly and ribs and throat back. Keep reaching through your legs, extending your torso. All right, downward facing dog, push up and back. Breathe fully here. Breathe in, breathe out. Take a couple more breaths here as you ground your hands. Maybe you're bending your knees to center your spine, right? So make that the priority. Belly and ribs in, throat back. Balanced curves. You can also lift your shoulder blades onto the upper back, right into the back of the ribs. Start just collapsing right into the center. Make it strong. So you can be strong for others. You can send out your light and blessings from that place. Look to the front, heel side, hip side, tip toe or hop forward. Arch up with your inhale. Fold with your exhale. Head up and chest up, rise with your inhale. And exhale, lower your arms. All right, so from here, bring your feet to touch if you can. We'll do what I call standing cow pose. So it's like coming into it's Katasana, but it's more about strengthening your core. So stand with your feet close, firm your legs, and start to sit back into your hips. So take this slow. This is one of my favorite poses to really build a sense of resilience through your spine, right, through the center, even as you're going towards more of a back bend shape. So go slow with this. Firm your legs, sit back into your hips, tighten the glutes. Notice you can do that without tucking, right? Just sit back, but firm and firm and firm. Firm everything, right? Firmness is an outer way to experience strength, right? So narrowing in through the center, especially ribs and throat, right? And the arms by your sides, palms back. So you go just a little bit back. This is more of sort of a neutral spine strength. But as you sit back a little bit more, moving more like cow pose like we did on hands and knees. So from under the ribs, elongate your spine. Like in hands and knees, we're not afraid. Lift our tail, lift our head, do it here. Move your tailbone back a little further. Pull in strong at your center and then lift your chest. You'll hopefully feel those back muscles really working. Probably in your lower middle back too, don't be afraid of that. That's a place of strength, right? So pull into your center. Keep it connected as you open. You stay here with arms by your sides, or you can even reach those arms overhead. So with that, notice even here, keeping my chin down, not just throwing my head back ever, right? Keeping the throat back, that's part of your center as well. It's all connected with strength. Breathing, it's an intense pose, it requires so much strength, inner strength. Can you soften your outer body, and can you even dedicate this strength to those who need it? All right, stand up slowly, lower your arms by your sides. Okay, and then from the front of the mat, step your left foot back into a lunge like we did once before. Hands on that front thigh. And with that, let's do the same thing. Put your back knee down if you need more support. Otherwise, maybe hands on hips for a little extra balance. You're going to make your legs strong, tone in front to back, and then start to, again, lift your chest higher. You're going to feel your back muscles working, but make sure you're holding the center front to back to keep that balanced. Letting the pelvis go with that back bend shape. So you're not trying to tuck under here, right? Keep it balanced but strong. So stay whatever stage is working for you here. Pull into your inner strength. Breathe out as you unfold more. Maybe those arms overhead. You can also anytime cactus the arms. So we're just going to switch the way we came in. Bring your hands to your front thigh. Step forward. And then right foot slowly steps back and you're finding your balance as you go there. Breathe as you settle. Let the breath help you to connect to your inner strength. And then we're building up the fibers of the outer body, like our muscles, right? Just to reflect that strength and integration. So draw strength up the legs, inner right thigh back, left hip firming in, tighten glutes and core without tucking, right? Because we're going towards that back bend shape. You don't tuck in cow pose. Don't tuck here, right? You keep it strong, belly, ribs, and throat. So with any arm position, by your side or even reaching overhead, so you really move into those shoulder blades as you open. Stretch your spine in two directions, through the tailbone, the top of the head. You breathe and open. One more full breath here. Back onto that front thigh, carefully step forward and just stand up once you get there. All right, so that's hard work. I'm working hard. I'm sure you're working hard too. It's like to bring it all to center in that way, but feel your inner strength growing with that. All right, so here, just bend your knees, hands on thighs, and let's step it back to hands and knees. And we'll add in another layer. All right, so here, and by the way, if you're feeling the low back muscles working and it feels like too much, I invite you to really explore you toning your abdominals enough. It's not that we're not supposed to feel these muscles working, but we don't want, certainly don't want to feel compression, right? So make sure you're really toning. See if that helps. All right. So in your table, belly, ribs, and throat back. Nice long spine. Here, stretch the left leg straight back and toning your center, belly and ribs and throat back. So that for this one, reach that leg long and straight first, and you can stay here. Or start to bend the knee. Remember the shape we were just doing. We're going to do the same, but we're going to add the leg and hold the foot. You'll see what it means, right? So just keep squeezing in with that back leg. Pull belly, ribs, and throat back. And then like cow pose, again, start to lift your tail, lift your head. Lift the leg width, right? Maybe you stay here the whole time. Notice the breath, and can you stay longer through the sides of your torso? Keep your abdomen strong, but soften down a little more in the middle back, upper back, so the shoulder blades come more onto the upper back. That might help you to curl more. You're not throwing the head way back or holding the center. So stay here, or take your right arm straight back, and let me just turn this way so you can see that. Right arm straight back. Pushing now that left foot higher so the back of the leg is fired, and maybe you can bring your foot and hand together and then keep going into a version of bow pose, Dhanurasana from here. That back leg will tend to go way out to the left. Squeeze the middle. Belly, ribs, throat. That right hip strong. And kick the foot back and up as you open. Hold my breath. Carefully release. Come back into table. Take a breath. All right. And as you tone belly, ribs, and throat, reach that right leg straight back and just hold. Start here, and you can really stay here. So especially in these next couple poses, just really moderates your intensity. Squeeze in with that back leg. Belly, ribs, and throat strong. That left hip toning strong. And then bend the knee to 90 degrees and push that foot up. So as you start to curl higher, tailbone and head, also lengthen the sides and soften the upper back down. That still means you're pulling in front to back, not collapsing, right? Holding your strong center, squeezing in with the leg, but then going to this shape that brings us to more of a, let's say, offering energy as we open ourselves up. So that left arm straight by your side, maybe you even hold here. It's like that standing cow work. Or maybe you bring the foot and the hand together, kicking the foot back and up more. Squeeze in with the back leg, your belly and your ribs and throat back. Elongate your spine evenly. Pulling stronger in the front if you feel any pinching in the back. All right, lower down from there. Downward facing dog. Keep the knees bent. Stretch your hips up high, and then walk your hands to your feet. Chest up, head up right away, hands on hips. So just really building on this. We'll do one more back bend, a standing back bend. Oh, I really need some water. Standing back bend, dancer pose. So very similar to the shape we were just doing. So come to a wall if you need some balance support. And we'll begin by just balancing on the right foot, taking that left leg heel to hip. And this could stay here, right? Standing quad stretch, neutral spine, pull the belly in, pull the ribs in, keep it steady. So maybe you stay here, and you can reach that right arm overhead, breathing into your steady center. Option to start to hinge from your right hip. And then like you just did on hands and knees, you have to start to kick that foot back and up as you hinge forward. So it's fine to keep holding the outer edge of the foot. I find I have to come to the inner edge to open my shoulder enough, but that's, depends on range of motion, I think, so you can choose. And still hold either way, hold your center. Pull into the middle, belly and ribs in, throat back. Squeeze in with the back leg, you can turn that left hip a little more forward. And as much as you're pulling it all together into your inner strength, as you stretch open, your exhales, and offer that through you. Hinging more at that right hip if you can. Breathing in, breathing out. Come up slowly, that's it. And release. Take a breath here. Grab the wall, of course you can turn the other way. Balancing on your left foot, take that right leg up. Standing quad stretch, take a few breaths here, everybody. And try to line up those thighs, belly, ribs, and throat. Left arm can reach up and you can hold there. Breathe in, steady. breathe out. Let that inner strength and light shine through you. If you, on the other side, hinge forward, so begin to hinge forward here, kick the foot back and lift the leg like you did in all fours. Keep toning your center. Maybe you switch the grip on the foot. Anytime we get to a pose that's more stretchy, more flexy, we have to make sure we're really pulling in so we open ourselves up from a place of strength. That builds our strength, even as it builds our capacity to offer ourselves from that place of strength. So keep pulling in, unfolding, squeezing with your back leg more. Belly, ribs, and throat so deeply connected. All right, come up slowly, nice and easy, very good. Take a breath here. Bend your knees, sit back into your hips, elongate your spine, and tip slowly forward, not all the way to the forward fold. We're just gonna walk to down dog. So walk forward then. Do take a couple breaths here in down dog. I'm gonna do one more back bend before we shift gears and stretch it out, all right? So press into your hands, reach your hips up high. Come forward to table pose, and, oh, sorry, not table. Let's lower into our fronts. So plank pose, push and pull, come on down. So we'll do one more locust pose and options to do a bow pose. Might be both sort of doing one-legged versions here. We'll bring it all together. So take a moment to reach each leg long. Roll the inner thighs to the sky. Tone your abdomen. And take your arms by your sides, belly, ribs, and throat back. So locust is lift chest and head, and that might be as much as you do here, building again that resilience. Belly in, ribs and throat back from the glutes as you stretch your legs. Option to lift arms, option to lift legs, option to bend your knees and reach back and find your feet, either tops of toes or ankles. Pull in with your legs, squeeze the middle. With belly, ribs, and throat back, start to lift higher. You have to actively lift your legs and then use that strength to elongate your spine. Two directions. Tailbone through the top of the head. Still strong at your center. Work those toes so you're connected all the way from feet to hips, even as you open. One more breath. All right, lower down. Make that pillow under your head once again. And deep breaths. The breath is naturally deep after the back bend, so expand that deeper breath into your lower ribs. Finding out that place, that really the source of our strength, the deepest part of the inhale. So down widens those low ribs, side ribs. Softening. All right, so downward facing dog. Child's pose is coming. You have 3 breaths in down dog. Right, press into your hands. Let down dog stretch the backs of your legs. So tone the belly, center your spine. But yes, reach your hips up as you stretch those heels back and down. Stretching through your spine as you lift your hips higher. Child's pose. Start with toes touching, knees apart. Again, hips to heels first, and folding in from there. Breathe into your low belly, your back ribs in that same way. And then you keep those knees wide, or if it feels okay to you to come in with knees together, you have to still press into your feet and lift your core more here. It's going to be a more flexed spine. But either way, everyone lift chest and head a little higher now and walk both arms over to the right. And stretch from left hip to left hand. You stretch out that back on the right. We certainly used our back muscles today, so stretch them out from left hip to left hand. You can turn your belly and chest a little more to the right. And come back to center and over to the left. So keep the feet pressing, the legs gently squeezing towards each other. Tone your belly in and up. Use the left hand like a little rudder as you reach from right hip to right hand. And come back to center. If, depending on how this feels for you, if you can take your arms by your sides, you can let your arms sort of relax over your legs here. If that kind of compresses your neck, you kind of get crunched in your neck, just keep your arms out in front of you instead. Let's again take a breath or two here. And then help yourself up through a table pose and shift your hips over to one side and swing your legs around. Come onto your back and cross your right ankle over your knee. Work the edge of that foot, press your arms into the floor, and tone your abdomen as you lift your left foot up off the floor so that you hover for a moment. Those outer hips strong, spine nice and long. And then the hands coming through perhaps to hold that left leg, either the thigh or the shin. Or you can also go back to the floor, right, and just open this way, that's fine too. Now push into the hands, try to keep the hips heavy, the spine long. Option to roll in tighter, and your back will round, your hips will roll up, that's up to you. Breathing evenly, soften your face, your eyes, your jaw. And then lower it down from there. Second side, cross the left ankle over. Work the edge of that foot. You can press the arms into the floor as you tighten the center and hover that right leg up. So you're pushing forward with the ankle, but hovering the leg up so you're balancing core and hips. And then option to lower back down and push, or you can grab that leg and gently draw it in with your thigh or shin. Stage 1 keeps hips on the floor, neutral spine. Stage 2, drawing in closer and hips roll up a little ways. Smooth, even breaths in and out. Lower down from there and cross the right knee on top of the left knee. Arms out in T-shape for a twist. Slide your hips to the right, go slowly to the left. Hug your legs together, move with connection through your center as always, and turn your belly and chest to the right. So still stay connected from feet to hips. Pulling out your ribs on the right as you pull your right shoulder blade down a little tighter. Elongate through your spine. Smooth out your breath. Inhale back to center. Straighten out. And cross the left knee on top of the right. Scoot your hips to the left. Lower the knees to the right. Now we're laying on the ground, and I invite you to stay still gently engaged in all the same ways that you were, quieter, but still fully activated. From feet to hips, sense of narrowing your center, front to back to front, turning at your waist, especially at that left rib cage, pulling in more. Elongate your spine, fold from left hip to left knee more. And come back up to center, straighten out. And take your legs up, one hand on top of each knee. Then take the knees wide and towards your shoulders. So we'll go through a little sequence here. Hands to the knees, push into your hands, and tip the sit bones a little more down. And that means you're still neutral spine because you're drawing your core in. Just elongate the spine. Gently stretch the legs a little more here. And again, that's stage 1. Stage 2, start to pull in closer. That'll flatten your back to the floor. It'll round your back more. And then holding those feet, taking your happy baby. It's a great stretch for the hips, so if you can try to roll your hips back down, using your strong legs, like you're widening the sit bones a little bit more. Still elongate the spine from there. And I always love the stretch, taking the legs out wide. Maybe you do that from holding the thighs or the calves, so you can keep those hips on the floor and a nice neutral spine. So then coming out of that, you can bend your knees again. You can hug it a little tighter if there's any last deeper stretch. Some of you might like to roll up gently, keeping your abdomen strong. That's okay on your back, of course, your neck. And you can stretch the legs straighter from there. Or not, right? This is basically a core strength pose. And then just using those legs to stretch a little bit more. or not. You could also be just hugging your knees and rocking that a little bit side to side. And so then roll to one side or just roll up and take a seat. We will do a Shavasana. I know some of you might have to slip out a little earlier. So we'll finish, we'll not finish yet, but we'll have a little breathing for a moment here. Feeling what we worked on today and what our highest wishes are from our practice. And then we'll take a Shavasana together still. Okay. So take a good seat. Maybe you're sitting again, blanket or block. Nice long spine. All this work to draw into your steady center. So feel that here, hopefully with more of just an easiness with that, having done this work in your practice. Feel the fullness of your breath, how much you opened up your breath as well with your back bending postures and everything else we did. And so as you sit, strengthened, centered, feeling what's deep inside of you that yes, we can tap into through our muscles and our alignment of bones. That we feel that is ultimately so much deeper, infinitely deeper. Breathe into the deepest part of your lungs as a way of breathing into that energetic center. And as you breathe out, elongating the spine, softening your skin more as a way of letting that energy, the blessings, that blessing force from that deep place of goodness and of light move through you. And in this way where we're actively connected, really still feeling the work that we did, I invite you to, in a way that's meaningful for you, from this place of strength, to send your blessings out with every exhale. Maybe it's in general to all who are suffering, all who are deep, working so strong, so intensely. It's time to help people be well. Maybe it's just someone that you know needs your support today. Take another moment here to breathe into your inner strength, to breathe out and offer your blessings, your support. Kind of softly open your eyes and we'll come to our backs to rest. And I'll again take you through the whole Shavasana. I'll bring you out of it at the right moment. Some of you that have to maybe scoot out a little earlier. That's true. Thank you for being here. Always come onto your back, seeking additional support as you need. Stretch your legs out long. Big breath through the sides of the torso and turn your biceps, your palms up as you work the shoulder blades underneath you. But with your exhale, let your whole rib cage settle back to meet that. And just settle in here. And a strong practice where we do strong core work and we did some strong standing poses and even some back bends. It's not just to work hard, it's to connect to our inner strength. And when we rest, it's that chance to really take refuge there. Feel that part of yourself that is deeper and ultimately beyond, not in a way that invites separation or isolation somehow from all of this, but in a way that we can bring the support of, to stay more connected, more open, to offer our own support, to rest in this way. May, yes, you be nourished and take refuge within yourself. It's good work that you did today. So welcome a deeper breath in, all the way in the center, deeper breath out, flowing through you. Begin to stretch and open the fingers and toes, arms and legs. When you're ready, bend your knees and roll onto your side. Support your head on your arm. And from there, use your hands on the floor, help yourself up and into a seat. Sit on your blanket or block, sit tall and easy. Draw a full breath into heart center. Exhale, bring your hands to touch at the heart. As yogis, may we tap into again and again our inner strength. May we be a source of that in the world, just by our presence and also how we can actively send our blessings, our support. Let's close with an Om, inhaling. Namaste. Thank you all. I'm going to come up and chat for a little bit with you all. Um, so, so yeah, they changed the format of Facebook Live, and yes, Letitia, you can watch it. It'll be on my page once I, um, close it out. It'll be live on the page or forever on the page. Okay, so soon. Okay. So yeah, they changed the format. So now, let's see. There we go. We're catching the sun here a little bit. So I can't see who's like live. I can see your comments, but I haven't seen who has shown up live. So, which is a bummer. I'd like to say hello if you're, if you've showed up. So sorry if I didn't see you. I can see your comments though. So that's nice. Oh, there's more of you. Okay. Great. Um, Okay, so good news. I'm starting to teach some regular classes at Yoga Collective. You can do the regular online registration for that, and it'll be through Zoom. So if you want to catch me, Saturdays 10 a.m. all levels, Wednesday 10 a.m. advanced practice, and I think next week I'll start a basics class on Wednesdays at noon. So I'll put a link in the comments to connect to that. And of course, I have my YouTube channel now. I'm going to add some more content to that soon. So thank you all for being here. Again, I'm not happy with the new format, but maybe I'll figure out how to use it better. And say say hello on the comments, and I'm seeing you guys here. Thank you. Hi everyone. I'm glad it was what you needed. That's so great. So this is for everybody. Please just enjoy the class. I'm just putting it out there. Hey Beth. If you're still, hey Wanda, thank you. If you'd like to make a small donation, I have my Venmo and PayPal where you can do so. Again, please don't feel any pressure to do so, but if you're still, working consistently and you wish to, that's always lovingly appreciated. But I hope you enjoyed getting to practice together, getting to connect in this way. These crazy times we're living in. So, okay. And yes, I will put this up on my page. It'll stay up there forever. So, and also the previous videos I've done. And you'll be able to find them and practice them anytime. Okay. All right. Sending my blessings to each one of you. Thank you again. All right.